Hello everyone! So today we are talking about the most essential nourishment, the kind that feeds the soul, the heart and the willpower to move mountains. We have the immense honor of hosting a woman whose name resonates strongly here in New Brunswick, especially in Moncton, and her name is Faith Ashogbon. So Faith is, of course, the driving force behind the Pure Gold Foundation, an organization that illuminates the life of so many Black youth and immigrant families. But today we want to go beyond the titles and the accomplishments. We want to sit down with Faith and discover the inspiring woman behind this incredible mission. So we're asking yourself, what really motivates her deep down, and what were the key moments in her whole journey that led her to where she is now, sowing so much positivity around here. So get ready for an inspirational and deeply human touching conversation. So grab your lunch, make yourself comfortable. We are getting started now. Mbote!
Amesere.
Maïga. Hello, bonjour, welcome to Qu'est-ce qu'on mange à midi? What do we have for lunch? So it's a podcast to discuss about our journey in New Brunswick, sharing our experiences, because we believe that decision we make today has an impact on what we're going to eat tomorrow. So today we're having a special guest here, and we're going to dive in. And I'll just let her present herself first. So, Mama Faith, I'm going to ask you, as people, we probably actually asking themselves, who is Faith? Who is Faith Ashogbon?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy and glad to be here. So it's a very big question. When you ask me who is Faith Ashogbon, wow. Faith Ashogbon is multi-dimensional, multi-skilled. And so what aspect of me do I want to talk about? But I'm going to summarize who I am really. So for me, when I talk of multi-skilled, multi-learned, I am an educationist, very passionate about learning. I have education, I have my qualifications in education, my first degree, my second degree in education. I'm also a human resource professional. I've worked in human resources for over 15 years, and that aspect is very beautiful. Also a youth coach, which is something I breathe and I live for. So having to coach young people, having to see them become who they want to become, having to see them succeed is one aspect of me. I'm a social entrepreneur. And as a social entrepreneur, I look for problems and I turn them to opportunities. I don't want to complain. I see problems as a tool for me to bring opportunities in my community. So I'm a very resilient person. I'm very compassionate. And then a whole of me, you want to know about me more, is that I have passion for human development. I want to see people grow. I want to see people happy. I want to see people come out of their shell and just become that person they want to be. So my passion ranges from not just the youth. The youth are my major people, but even men, women, everyone. So my community goes from parents to the community which I belong to. I love to collaborate with people. But the me is human development. So when it comes to human development for the young people, I love to help young people discover themselves, maybe self-awareness and all of that. So
in a nutshell, that was
exactly in a nutshell.
But the main line that we can see as you were speaking is just like, I was just hearing kind of helping the human at the aspect of helping people grow, whether it's like youth, young adult, parent, like just kind of helping people discover their potential and kind of develop it and grow in it. So, which is really beautiful. We're starting well. Let's go to step one.
Yes, we're gonna know more about you during this journey that we're taking together, and we're so glad to have you here. So, and we're curious, talking about journey, like, what brought you to New Brunswick and why choose Canada? That's a very interesting question,
right? So I'm going to tell you my journey about coming to New Brunswick. That was 9-10 years ago. I just, like, it was all over. Oh, Canada was opening up and people were coming to Canada. And I'm like, okay, I think I can explore that. I had a friend who kind of introduced that opportunity for me when I traveled to the US and so on. One year I traveled to the US for a vacation, and then I got to meet wonderful people. I met a friend. I said, oh, like Canada is doing. I'm like, okay, I've never thought about Canada. Because one of the things about Canada for me then was, Canada is very cold. So I've always thought about...
We can confirm.
Right? So, and I'm like, okay, I love to explore. And then I was okay. And at that time in my life and in my family, we're like, okay, I think we want to look for opportunities and then come to maybe... So we decided to come to Canada because there was an opportunity. So the opportunity was Canada was looking for skilled workers. And back in Nigeria, I was a human resource professional, like a human resource manager. And I worked with the federal government also in Nigeria. So I said, okay, I think I can. And they needed me to have the skill, to have the money, and all of that. So we kind of put in our applications, and we came very excited to explore, and I always tell people, I believe I was thinking that when I come to Canada, like all the problems in the world is solved for myself, my family, and all of that. Very, very excited. My kids were excited to see the snow and to just, so I came, that was how I came to Canada. And then I was believing I'm going to give my children the best of everything, Canada and all of that. Then coming to Canada in 2017, it wasn't really what I was expecting. So I got different shockers, different ones.
Yeah.
So I think that also built my spirit to be very resilient because, first of all, I came in as a skilled worker and I was told that, okay, what I thought, let me say I was told, as a skilled worker where we did all the application, I was thinking the job is waiting for me. I came as a human resource professional. But when I came, I'm like, okay, where's the job? I need the job. I want to work. I love working. And then the job wasn't coming. Then we kept applying for jobs. We hear things like, you don't have a Canadian experience, but we thought you're going to. So all of that. And then I think one of the first job I did in Canada then was a care work. Then from care work, which I've never done before, we got into what do you call it, customer service. So the call center and all of those things. I was then learning the Canadian system. So that was also a very huge shock for us. But again, in terms of my kids coming to school again, in school, what I was expecting was not what I was seeing. So I started seeing lots of challenges. So what I did was kind of to take a sit and kind of evaluated everything and see, okay, this is a gap.
Reality.
This is the reality. But how do we navigate it?
Yeah.
That's so, wow. That's just like, I was just listening, I was like, oh, there's a lot. But I think one question maybe that arises from me is like, you talk about some of the challenges, and I think you had a question like that, maybe like, maybe I'm stepping ahead, so I might leave you there. But like, just like, it's a reality that so many immigrants talk about and share, like, when you think about your vision of like how you're gonna like live your life in Canada, build your life in Canada, you have some expectation, you prepare according to that, but then you come and then the reality is like,
surprise.
Well, like what's happening? So like what are maybe like, could you share maybe like one of the key challenges that you faced like in that journey from like the beginning?
So I think at the beginning, one of the major challenges was getting a job that suited my qualification, that suited my personality, that my skills, I think that was the first shocker to even get the job, because I had a second degree. I had a master's back in Nigeria before I came. I'd worked for a couple of years. I'd kind of grown in my career. I was a very passionate leader, right? So I was thinking my job progression, my career was kind of, paramount for me. And I was thinking, was it going to be a continuation of where I stopped? Just keep going, keep going. So that was the first shock. And that was my first challenge. So I couldn't go. I kind of dropped. I had to look for. So the job I now started doing was just get the job and pay the bills. It wasn't get the job and be who you want to be. It wasn't get the job and build on your skills. It wasn't you get it. So that was the first struggle for me, really, the job.
Finding a job. That I think it's for a lot of people, like even for people who study here, after that, like go out and go outside of student things and then get your first job. That is a really huge challenge.
Especially now, with all
Yeah,
changes in immigration and everything.
It's becoming more challenging. And I like that you said actually you take a moment to just analyze everything, because sometimes we don't do that. We just like go, no, nothing is working, and we don't take a moment to just say, hey, this is not what I expected, but what can I do to make it work? So that's a really powerful sharing that we're having here. So we're continuing, especially like because you said actually you came here and you got your first job that was more like to pay the bills. And after that, like, how did you actually find how did you find the motivation to create your foundation that is Pure Gold? Like, where did you come from, especially coming from the challenges that you had?
Okay. So before I talk about Pure Gold and how I navigated to Pure Gold, let me kind of take you through my journey to even coming to Pure Gold, because before starting Pure Gold, there are pieces that I had to put together. So one of it is going to be my self-awareness, my self-confidence, my integrating into the culture, right? Understanding the systems. Because if those pieces were not there, I might just have a passion that would never come to reality. So what I did in terms of when I saw my challenges and my struggle, like I said, I had to sit down and evaluate. I began to take pieces. Okay, I think this is a new environment for me. This is not what I'm used to. So I was open to change, right? So I was open-minded. And one of the things I did was to understand the culture, to understand the system of Canada as a whole. I started learning. So I started learning that pieces. So I learned from reading. I learned from attending events. I hear people talk, workshops. And then the big piece for me was I went to school. I came in as a skilled worker, not as a student. But I'm like, okay, because I wanted to understand what the culture is all about. So I went back to school to understand the educational system, to understand the way of life, to understand the culture. So doing that gave me a lot of insight, a lot of understanding into what it's looking, and then even discovering myself, right? Because I know in school then and it was very fantastic, really, because again, I began to appreciate the Canadian culture. I began to see myself, okay, I think this is where I want to be. But if I didn't do that, I might not have the opportunity. Because one of the things I remember in school, they make us do presentations. And that piece, I know, I used to do presentations, but not in that kind of level. So, but in school then, even my lecturers will look at, oh my God, you are a very good speaker. Because so being a good speaker, really, I'm not like a trained speaker like that, but I'm very passionate about talking. So I speak from my heart. So that part, when I put it into doing my presentation, it shows. So I began to say, okay, this is one thing I need to kind of build on, you see. So all that gave me the leverage, right? And I kind of use the skills transitioning. But when it comes to Pure Gold Foundation, I'm not going to give the credit of Pure Gold Foundation to myself. I know I tell, especially my team members, the volunteers that walk around, I always tell them, I say, Pure Gold Foundation, I'm not the founder of Pure Gold Foundation. Well, I can agree for you to call me the executive director. I can go with that. But when it comes to being the founder of Pure Gold Foundation, I'm going to give that credit to God, because it was an inspiration, number one. And inspiration came again from the struggles I saw my kids struggled. Like when they came in schools, they were losing that self-confidence because of different cultural shock and all of that. So I started teaching them. No, I love teaching. I started teaching my kids on a couple of things, values, self-confidence. So we kind of had that discussions a lot. And it was okay, we can do this. And then the inspiration came from God that start something like teach other people. It wasn't a good idea for me, but all the same, we got into this, and then it began to, like, every step, because it was a problem. But I also had to contact other people in my community to say, are your kids also struggling like this? And the kind of answer was, oh, is it just me that what is happening? So that was the journey, and that was how Pure Gold Foundation started with three youth. Then we began to grow until it became something very, very big. So that was really the journey to Pure Gold Foundation.
Wow. When did you found like official like start with Pure Gold?
So we started in November of 2020. Yes. November of 2020.
Wow, like 5 years ago now.
Okay, and like from 3 youths, how many youths do you have now in your program?
So currently, all the youth who have benefited from our program, like in one way or the other, we have over 150 youths.
Wow.
Yeah, we're up to that 150 youth. Yeah. Because some of our youth, again, the way our program is structured, they attend the program, they go to school, they become adults. Some of them come back to volunteer, and then some go to school and become that leader that we want them to become.
Yeah, that's pretty beautiful.
So as a parent myself of a little boy of 17 months, and probably our listener too, we actually asking ourselves, like, what type of program do you have? Because I know from the word, but I'm not really familiar with Pure Gold Foundation. So that's why why I have that question.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to talk about Pure Gold Foundation now.
That was the beginning.
But before I go deep into Pure Gold Foundation, I don't do the job alone. I know most times maybe people call me to talk. Have a fantastic team of people that will work together.
Is that the clap?
Yes. Like I want
clap for the team
of Pure Gold. All the volunteers. I know all the volunteers in Pure Gold that work tirelessly. These are people that have jobs. These are people that have their own business. These are people that have their own passion, but still they come and they pour into Pure Gold. Like I want to use this moment to like a big shout out to all of them. We work as a team. People work tirelessly because they have that passion for it. So Pure Gold Foundation is also a platform, not just for also young people. It's for young people, but for people who have the passion to impact young people to come and leverage on and use their skills, use their talent, and also become that's what we do. So our mission in Pure Gold Foundation, I'll say it loud, I'll say it clear. It's to empower and to equip young people ages between 10 to 20. Okay. To have positive values, to have a growth mindset, and to be grounded in their identity. Those three keys are the pillar in which we run Pure Gold Foundation. So when it comes to positive values, what does it mean to us? We want to help families, help our community, and help the young people to build their lives based on values. Very important. Based on integrity, based on your honesty, based on your leadership skills, because leadership is also a value. Because if we raise people of integrity, of reputable character, I put it that way, there are people that will lead us to, let me even say paradise. You want to have people that will say the truth and they stand for what they say, right? Those kind of people. So we raise people because the problem with young people or even adults not having values is a whole lot, ranging from family dynamics, right? Ranging from incompetent leaders to addiction, peer pressure, mental issues. A lot of issues lie on the fact that we don't have values. For some people, may not be totally right, but from my research and from my work I've done in the past. So when we begin to empower young people, we teach them, talk about it, coach them on positive values. It helps to reduce the numbers of young people that deal with mental issues because it brings self-awareness, it brings self-confidence, it brings out the skill that, okay, I think I can do this. So that's why values is key for us in Pure Gold Foundation. So one of the other thing again for us is a growth mindset. Most of our youth are newcomer youth. They are visible minority youth. They are racialized youth. And this sector of youth, again, could struggle with self-confidence and sense of belonging. And so what that does to them when they struggle that, okay, do I really belong here? I'm not supposed to talk, maybe because of my skin color, or maybe because of where I'm coming from. I don't understand the culture, ranging from school to community, and all of those spaces. What does it do to them? We see young people fall out of education because of lack of self-confidence. That's it. I don't think I can do this course. And if there's no one to guide them, then they don't really get to that destination, right? So in our program, we are there to help young people have a growth mindset that you can really become who you want to become. It does not matter where you're coming from. It doesn't even matter what your family dynamics is. It doesn't matter whoever accepts something to you. It doesn't matter what they say. It really matters what you believe. It matters who you are. So you can always get that. I will echo it again. You can become whoever. It doesn't matter where you are today. You see yourself, oh, I'm just this. No. If you want to become the prime minister, you can become it. If you want to become a global person, you can become it. If you want to become the richest man, just put your heart at it. So it's a growth mindset for us. So you don't begin to say, okay, I can't. We want them to be very positive. So that's one of the things. So we do a lot of affirmations in our programs, reminding them that I can do it. So that builds up their mind to know that they want to become something. And we see that.
I don't limit myself, based on the environment I'm in or the
my
background I have. But I
yeah.
say, okay, I'm here and I can achieve it.
Exactly.
And I think it's really important, especially,
for you.
Just because, as you mentioned, when you didn't grow up with that mindset, it's really difficult. And when you were talking, I was just reflecting on my education, how I grew up, and it's something my parents did a lot. Come from a family of 5 kids, four girl, 1 boy, and sometime in Africa people will say oh, you just have girls, what are you gonna do with them? No. And my dad will always see what I'm gonna do. You will see. You will see. And he always told us growing up, it's not because you're a girl, girls can do it. Always kind of sharing. I always tell to people my dad is my first cheerleader in this life. If he say I can do it, I don't care what you say. That's not my problem. I have his blessing. I will go forward, and it's really important. And that's why I love the work that your foundation do, because not every kid grew up in that environment where in the family, because family, for me, the family is really where you should be empowered to grow with that growth mindset, have those values, the right foundation. But if in your family dynamic you weren't able to grow with that, it's really important for those youth to be able to connect with leaders and have be in that environment where they have that change in their mindset. Okay, maybe I didn't receive that growing up, but now I see it's possible, and it's kind of break the seal of okay, this is where I was just seeing myself, putting myself because I was kind of put in a box because of like how I was raised and everything. Maybe sometime, I think maybe you've encountered even you that have received like negative affirmation, like, because sometimes you go with, in a setting where, whether it's at school or at work or even in your family, where people say, you will never do that. You will never do that. And you grow up, you limit, like you're really capable. Like other people see things in you, but because of that in your mind, you're like,
you're just putting boundaries.
No. People can say, no, you can do it.
I'm not sure.
That's what I
and
really
I think
love.
like there are some people actually who actually it's like imposter syndrome or
Yeah,
something like that.
exactly.
You are there because of your efforts, but you cannot believe that it's your place because in your mindset you're like, no, it's not for me. No, I'm not good enough, and you keep just advancing with that. And I actually see that there is a lot of people like even on the work field right now or younger people that it's coming more and more actually like. Yeah. And what I really like also is like you talked about values. I really like that part too because I'm like, yes, because you can see nowadays a lot of people were like jumping from job to job, partner to partner, or even studies to studies, because most of the time they're actually having trouble finding themselves. And there's like, okay, with this person, I'm going to find myself because they're trying to think sometimes that being like with a different, if with that person is what is my value, it's coming from that person.
Yeah, my validation.
Yes. So that's, and the fact that you actually teach younger people that, I think that's amazing because it starts younger so that you can grow with that because over that, it makes like an adult that is really jumping and trying to find itself until the end, and it's just going to do no good for that person, no good for the people around that person, or even for the family we talk about. You talk about the family should be a place where you can actually empowered and encouraged to do. But the thing is, imagine see an adult that did not have that, and it just grew up like that. And most of the time, we tend to give what we have, and then it's just like going to a circle. And the fact that we have someone, we need to have someone in there that will be like, I'm going to break that circle, and I'm going to do better, not just for me, but for the one who come after me.
Yeah,
so.
and it's like that's we like we were sharing a bit with Faith before we start. Like that's the idea of the podcast. We really want like to leave that legacy, like to empower our generation to think, think outside of the box. Like like the decision we take today are going to affect what we're gonna eat at lunch tomorrow. It's kind of a way to say, if you want to eat, I don't know, like something good on your plate tomorrow, make sure that you're taking the right decision, like kind of to build the life you want tomorrow. Like, what's the type of family you're envisioning, what do you want your son to be tomorrow? Start building that in yourself today.
Exactly.
So it's really important. Yeah, that's beautiful.
I think I also talk about the other pieces of, I talked about the growth mindset. Another pieces of what we do is our identity. So being grounded in your identity. So I know when we talk about identity, we can look at it from different ways. But in Pure Gold Foundation, we base our identity on who we are, not what we look like. Right? Most times, we want newcomer youth. We want to know that it is not, your identity is not just on your skin color. Your identity is in who you are. And our young people know that they are special, they're royals, they're unique people, they're authentic people. So that, based on that, we have different programs like our royal gathering. We call it a royal gathering because the people we are dealing with are royals. Yeah, kings and your queens.
Yeah.
So that event is like a gala night for young people where they come in, they're well dressed, express themselves, they take the lead on that event, giving them a platform to really develop self-confidence and their identity. You see that? So, and then the programs we do, because we've seen all of those problems. So one of our programs is, we have different programs. We have a 12 weeks leadership hub where we train young people on leadership skills, and it goes from different things, right? For 12 weeks, power packed. No young person should miss that. We have our, every month, again, we have a webinar, and we bring in different speakers, I will talk about different things that is in need to that to the young people, because they will tell us we want this, and then we bring in speakers that kind of talk about that. And then we also have our summer event. Like this summer is full for us. So we have a book club, like a book review. We pick a book and that talks about the growth mindset. And then we read the book. So reading a book, one book, is not just reading. So you read the book, we come together and review the book. So what that does is that it reduces social exclusion, which is a major problem with young people.
True.
Right.
True.
So you meet with other people, you read together as a friend. I'm going to read my book with a friend. I'm also going to read with mentors. So we also bring in adults who will be there again to review the book with them. That creates an opportunity for mentorship, which is also a key thing that we need for a young person to be successful. And then we bring in an opportunity to network. So we network with community leaders, we network with ourselves. We just bringing that, okay, so this is what it's all about. We're just reading the book. And one of the things we do is our summer camp. Our summer camp is huge for us. It's a huge need. It's a need that one of our challenges again, but it's also an opportunity for us to see where people want to attend the event, but we don't have like a lot of the capacity to accommodate so many people. But our summer camp is huge. It's a time where there's personal development, academic development, career development, and all of those spaces. So rather that we do, then we now have a royal gathering. We have series of events. We have workshops. We collaborate with other organizations, and so it's always very busy around the year for us. And it's something that it become an household name. Like when you go to schools, like I get emails like, oh, I've heard about Pyogo. I want to be part of that community. Everybody's just talking about Pyogo. It's all because it's a platform where we give young people to express themselves without fear of being judged or being criticized. It's just a place where young people feel, okay, I'm safe here, I can learn. So
if your parents or a youth watching this,
or someone who wants to
go in the description.
Know more about this.
Go in the description. We will have the link for Pure Girls.
Yeah.
So go if you want to volunteer with them or just learn more, like to involve your kid. They will just she share a lot. So if you're envisioning your kid and you see like my kid, or I know a youth that need that, just please like take the time to share this video and the link to Pure Girl, like to a youth or like a parent or somebody around you. You might be like the change agent for someone's life. So
thank you so much. And then we're going to have a book review for July, Tuesdays in July in Moncton.
Okay.
So from the 8th of July, all the 4 Tuesdays in July in Moncton, we're going to have it the 4 Wednesdays in Fredericton. Okay. So Moncton and Fredericton, we're having a book review. You don't want to miss that.
No.
And this episode is going to be released on the last Friday of June. So people will have like time to listen to it. We're going to make sure we highlight this in the reel.
Sure, that would be nice. So so basically we talk a lot about Pure Girl. I think we could not skip that part because it's your baby there, as we can see. So now we're going to talk a lot again about you. And before we go deeper, there was another question that I had, and I know I hear that a lot, especially people coming with, you had a master's degree in Nigeria. You came here and you went back to study. So first question, were you ashamed of doing that?
Not really. I was. I'm open to learning. I don't. When it comes to learning, I don't attach shame to it at all. Because for me, it's just my personality.
Yeah, did not so. Oh, I have that background. I have all of this, and now I have to go back to school with younger kids, probably.
Yeah, I know, right? I know that pieces, but maybe just because of who I am, I don't see shame in that. I love learning a lot. I love learning. I love to learn new things. So I just went with that spirit that I want to learn, and I did learn.
That's really important to mention that, because it's important to have that mindset, especially when you come here and you want to build your life. You need that. And also, do you have any specific something that happened, especially when you are surrounded with youth and family from immigration and things like that? Like, do you have any specific moment where you were doing what you love to do, helping people, and then you actually had that moment you're like, okay, yes, I feel proud of what I just did, like something that happened and you just helped someone and like, yes, I feel proud of doing that.
Oh yes, I've had
Oh.
I've had lots of moments, lots of beautiful moments. Yes, one of the moments was when I think let me say it was on my birthday, and they got well, it was a surprise, but my team members kind of organized for me, so they got some youth in Pure Gold to do like a video and talk about Pure Gold. It was a very touching moment for me.
You cried?
So because things they never told me. I love talking to young people a lot. They're always around me. But in that video, they could pour out their hearts, how Pure Gold has impacted them and all of that. Oh my! I didn't know it was that deep. I just thought we just laugh and play and just make fun, but I never knew it was that deep where it could transform life. So those were very special moments that really I'm like, okay, because like there are times you feel like quitting. I know I've had those times a lot again, but these are the things that keeps us going. That if we stop, those people that are waiting, that are just waiting, there are people that plan all their life around our programs. What happens to them, right? So that again keeps me going.
Wow. That's very beautiful. Wow. And now, since we're talking about that, we want to actually talk about your recognition that you had. Like, for what I have here, you actually received a King Charles III medal, yeah, for your work and everything that you have been doing. And from what I'm understanding now, I'm starting to understand more why you received that medal. And how did you feel about receiving that?
Maybe like some context also for people. Because
no,
not everybody
right.
like
knows.
true,
That's true.
Yeah, that award. So like, what is the King
Charles III?
Why is it? What was it? Why was it created? And why are they giving that to people? What is the recognition for?
And what does it mean for you?
Okay, and that question, I might not be the best person to answer that question.
From what you know.
Yes, okay. Yeah. Because honestly, I never knew about the King Charles Award or recognition before I got it. I know I kind of glimpsed at times just see, but I don't even know what it stands for and what it is. And maybe because whatever I do in Pure Gold or what other people do, we do it because based on our passion. We don't really do it based on people to recognize us. Because there are a lot of things that we do that is not even on social media. People don't even tend to see. Maybe not because we don't want them to see, but that's not really the goal, right? We do a lot of work. So when it comes to work, we do a lot of work that people don't even have a clue of. So I think when I got the award, I wasn't expecting it. So that's one, because I think that was one of the major recognition. People don't hardly recognize what we did. Pure Gold. So it was a very humbling moment. Because maybe the first time, I don't know if it's going to be the very first time we are really recognized for something we didn't want. So I was grateful for the MLA Sherry Wilson, who presented that award, because she had attended couples of our programs. I guess she saw that, wow, what kind of work we do. So I'm thankful for her. But after the award, I said, because even at my work, I see people, so this is a very prestigious award that I never knew about. It's a very prestigious award that are really given to the people who work so hard to make a very positive impact in their community, in the community, in the province. Yeah. And well, I'm thankful for the award. But again, we work in Pure Gold, not really for the award, but to really impact young people, which is a greater award for us.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Nice. And actually, we talk about faith working for Pure Gold, but you're also a mom, and you wear like a lot of many hats. So key question is, how do you manage all of that?
Thank you so much. So, I think I've been doing Pure Gold for 5 years now. When my kids were younger, it was a little bit tougher, right? But I think now it gets better. I multitask. I'm not going to tell you it's very easy. Like, I kind of work around the clock. So I have to work. I have to take my kids to school at times. I have to go to activities. I have to be home. They have to eat, and all of that. It's a lot. But what I see, and I was sharing with you before about multitasking for me, and also being, because I'm always very intentional again about being there. I'm a very present mom. I don't want to. I don't know how to say that.
Wow.
I know I have a lot on my hand, but I'm very intentional about being present. So being present is that I'm my kid's best friend. So we can talk about anything. When I mean anything, anything. Like my kids, we talk about anything. So yes, I want to be the first person that educates my kids before they listen to what they educate them. So discussions around even sex education, addictions, which I discuss that with my kids. So my ears are always there to hear them. I'm always the first person they're going to run to when things happen a lot, and that has really helped me have a strong bond. I can tell you, if you tell me, oh, your daughter did this, I know what she can do. And I know what she can do. Like, I can tell. In fact, I know sometimes, some weeks ago, my daughter had an issue in school, right? And immediately that happened, immediately she texted me, oh, Mom, we need to talk. I was like, oh, this is not, why? What is happening? So immediately I like, what happening? And immediately she told me. In fact, then, my teacher said this. I said, no, I know what happened. And she told me, because I taught my kids a way that they don't lie. They don't, and they can't even, they don't even know how to twist it. They just say the way it is. So when she said, I'm like, okay, so what is this? So I had to go to the school and have a conversation with the vice principal. And he told me, what he was saying was exactly what I had. If I'm like, oh my God, you know my daughter so well. He said, I've taught her for like how many years? I know what she can do. I'm like, that is good. So you see, so that gave me a lot of joy and a lot of confidence. And teachers were coming to say, oh no, I know what this she can. I know she can. Oh no, she can. So you see, so I was a proud mom. It was a proud mom moment for me that, okay, right? And that's why I'm intentional about being there to hear them. Being there to, I don't just believe in giving them what they need, giving them, I'm not very good at giving the iPhone and all that. But when it
We
comes
give the value.
I give exactly.
Yeah,
Not the
the
material.
I'm not too of a material person. I try, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm like, they know that. So when they need something, they're like, mommy. So do you get it? But when it comes to the real value, when it comes to talking, to teaching, to educating, to breaking down problems, I'm there. Despite how busy I am, but we have time to meditate. We have time to talk, to read the Bible and talk about it, break it down until the understanding. So so when it comes to is it easy? No, it's not. I bring myself out of my comfort zone, because my comfort zone is my body tells me you need to sleep as much as you can sleep, and which I try to do. But again, the more I push myself, the more I discover a better version of me.
True.
I wasn't this way. It's the more I keep doing what I'm doing, is the more I keep putting into work, into all of that. I learned so many skills, right? And all of those pieces has really even helped me and other people. Again, like my kids, other kids, and all of that. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I really like what you're saying, because like I'm into that area of my life, like being a mom as starting to change the way I see things, and also like learning to make time and be present. Like I think it's something I have to start now, so that I can build actually a good relation, as long as that we are actually going through time. So yeah,
Very important.
We need to
Very
talk a
good.
lot. You have nice advice here. Yes. So yeah, I think like we're actually going to almost the end of our time together. I wish we could stay longer. But there is like a question we always ask our people that come here is if you can meet Faith, because you came like 19 years ago, you say?
No,
In-
8 years.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
oh my God,
8
in
years, not
2017.
8 years.
Yes, so 8 years ago. So if you can meet with Faith from 8 years ago when she
She's
was
just
just
coming there.
coming in Canada. Here, hi Faith. So what would you like to say to her?
What would be your advice for her?
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm going to talk to the Faith that came into Canada 8 years ago as you're just landing, is believe in yourself. Believe in your ability. There are going to be challenges, but your challenges are not going to destroy you. They're only going to make opportunities for you. So leverage on the opportunities. Leverage on people. People, don't run away from people. No matter what, I know they're hurt. People might have hurt you in the past. You're like, I don't want to get no people. No. People, good people, when I say people, good people will help you to get to your destination and then eat at your lunchtime faster and better. Leverage on networking. Be open to learning. Yeah. I think I will advise the Faith of and just be self-aware. Be self-aware that I can do it, I can make it. And then that keeps ringing on you that I can make it, I can do it. And then just leave the rest.
That's so beautiful.
Oh yeah, really. That was beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you, Mama Faith.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama Faith.
Thank
Like, I think
you.
there was like so many
Yeah.
nuggets, and I personally hope that many parents and youth and younger parents as Amanda will watch this episode
True.
and reach out to Pure Gold if you are in New Brunswick. Please like get your children, your youth involved in your program. As you have listened, they will just benefit from it. And
Even if you're out of New Brunswick,
Okay.
our leadership hub is online.
okay, you
So
also
it's
have
virtual.
wow.
So most of our classes are virtual. You can join
Nice,
from across the
nice.
world, anywhere in the world.
That's
you can
even
join.
better. So if you're outside of New Brunswick, but you feel like, oh, I want my kids to get involved, they have virtual programs. So please, the link is in the description. Check it on. And also, we want to take the time. We're also gonna have. She mentioned the book club. So if you're following the podcast and you are not aware, we've recently launched a newsletter, the QOMM newsletter that we release every month, where we share opportunities, whether it's like financial opportunities or networking opportunities for people here in the Maritimes to learn about what's going on, what are different opportunities you can benefit from. So we're gonna add the link for the event that Pure Gold is having in July there in the newsletter. The newsletter is gonna be shared on the first week of July. So make sure you also click on the link and subscribe to be on our newsletter list. And we cannot wait to meet you next month for the next episode. Until then, what do we say?
Bon appétit!